I'm sure you've heard, in fact, I'm sure that you clicked on this because you're curious about maybe a new perspective on this topic or idea, and that is that beliefs shape reality. What you expect, this is very important, what you expect is what you get. Pause with me here for a second. Let me take a drink, and yes, yes, indeed, I'm drinking out of a straw from a can. Because today's one of them days, Woke up, I had 3 fucks to give, and we're winding down, and I still got 3 to give. So if you do the math, I didn't give any today. You know what I'm saying, dude? All right. So reality mirrors your beliefs. Okay. If you believe something is hard, it will be hard. So prime example is I was having a conversation with my baby, and she said, I could do hard things. And I said, well, yes, you can, because you're a badass. I said, but if you continue to believe that it's hard, it's stemming from the fact that you believe that you can do hard things. So, source, the universe, the field, God, whatever you want to call it, excuse me, it is giving you exactly what you expect. Because, yes, she's a badass and she could do hard things. But what she doesn't realize is that she can get rid of that belief and just calm down a little bit. Just chill and realize that though she can do hard things, things do not need to be hard. Oftentimes, when things are hard, it's simply because you're resisting the fact that it doesn't need to be. So, if you believe that something's hard, it stems from the fact that you believe you can do hard things. And so the universe goes, well, if this was easy, you probably won't do it. So you do the hard things. Kind of making sense? If you believe you can handle hard things, life will give you more challenges to prove it, as I just said. So basically, it's just going to continue to serve it. Now, if you want to look at this from a neuroscience perspective, or just even brain regions and talking about the mind, the reticular activating system is finding the story. So the DMN is essentially writing it, and the reticular activating system is finding it. Those challenges, it'll present the opportunity. So the universe, source, God, the field, I say that because so many people have an identity built around what infinite creation is. As humans, our minds pick up on patterns and we need to identify with things. So your identity gives it the meaning. And so for me, it's God. It's the most purest form of creation because there's power in words and there's power in the emotions those words make me feel, make us feel. So it's God to me. I used to say like the universe, but I kind of shifted my belief in that. And now I say that the universe is God's playground, that he organizes for me to create. So that's my belief and I'm sticking to it. Okay, the universe, source, God, field responds to your internal expectations, meaning it's inside. The belief is in here. I think I said this in the last video. This is one of my most proud quotes that I have. I said, again, I was talking to my baby girl, who must have been, I don't know, I was probably eating a BLT or something, because I've been fucking with them hard lately. And I think I don't remember what it was, but I was like, babe, I said, it has to come from within. I was like, because every single quote had to be spoken before it could be written. And where does speaking come from? Well, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say nothing. oh, but I want to make this video and I got a lot to say, so I want to say it, and it's inside me and I want to get it out, and I really want to get it out, but it's essentially coming through and coming out, coming through and coming out, because we are connected infinitely. We are not separate from God. And so when you're in flow state, that flow is coming from within. So that is why that God is responding to your internal expectations. If you believe that you can do hard things, you're damn right. And in retrospect, if you believe that you can't do hard things, you're only going to do the easy things. And the hard things are going to come. I can't do that. Nope, 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 nope. An opportunity is going to come to do the hard thing, and you're going to live and embody that identity, and you're not going to be able to do the hard thing. Okay? That's how it works. That's just the truth. Because the truth is realized. Okay? Your soul remembers. It doesn't learn. It already knows. The Akashic Records, whatever you want to call it, it already knows. It's already connected to the infinite. We all are. I'm not special. I'm just aware. That's it. Same thing happens with other influencers. Someone that I really value is Aaron Doughty. He flows, dude. He completely understands flow state, and that's what's happening. He's channeling the truth through him. But the truth is just no one holds all of the truth, right? Even on this channel, I say the truth, and it really should just say my truth. But I say the truth because it's a formality. It is the truth. But it's not always the full truth. It's fractals of it. But building a community and helping other individuals, the whole reason why I'm even here doing this is to align myself with the individuals who are also creating the new earth, because we come together to create the full truth. I have a fractal of that. Everything you receive from me is the truth that I receive. And it is truth. It may not line up with your beliefs, and it may disrupt your programming, and you may be just like, this dude is just a wackadoo. And maybe that, but that's your story, not mine. You feel me? I don't know how this YouTube shit works fully, so like I wrapped this up. That's why it's wrapped up, not because it's anything other than what it is. Which now you're probably like, what is it? Oh God, where am I? Your experience of reality is not objective. It is shaped by what you believe is true. For the last time. Okay, we're moving on now. Why source gives you more of what you believe. So here's what I wrote. Believe money is hard to make. You'll struggle financially. You will consistently get the reality where the opportunities that come, yes, they're opportunities for you to continue to embody the belief that that money's hard to make. First of all, you can't make money. You have to take money, but not even that. You don't even take money. You just align with it. You become money. You become money, and money just flows to you because, that's a tough one. It's no different than any embodiment. It's not like you like physically become money, which is what tripped me up, because I was like, dude, people are gonna think that I'm literally saying become a paper $100 bill or something. It's not what I'm saying. Believe relationships require suffering. You'll attract struggle and conflict. Okay. Haven't you ever heard people say, oh my God, all men are this. Oh my God, all women are this. Guess what? The more you believe that, the more you're gonna get that, because that's what you believe. That's what you reaffirm over and over and over and over again, because life is a loop. Everything happens on a pattern. It's infinite, always and forever. Believe opportunities come easily. You'll notice them everywhere. Believe success requires burnout. You'll work yourself to exhaustion. And that's what hustle culture tries to push and propagate and make you believe, is that, especially someone like, I'm not even gonna start any of that drama. But so reality follows belief, not the other way around. You have to believe it for yourself. And you want to know the number one way that you don't believe it? It doesn't exist in your reality. That's how. I am telling you, I cannot get sick because I have built the belief system. That's what it comes down to. I mean, if you look at anyone who talks about things relative to the things that I'm saying, like for instance, if you've ever read the book You Are the Placebo by Joe Dispenza, you will see that that's exactly what it says. You are the belief, dude. That's why you can do double. I'm making products for Truthfully Nourish. I'm the co-founder of Truthfully Nourish, and I'm doing double blind studies because in placebo effect, where people get a sugar pill, it's not even, it could be whatever, because that, the reason you do that, let's see, I'll bring it back to Jesus. Let me talk about Jesus for a second. He spoke past the programming. He spoke belief into you. And because so many people collectively believed his power and what he was able to do, because people continued to see miracle after miracle after miracle, he embodied belief so much so that he could speak healing into you. And if you were paralyzed, you could walk simply because he said. Because everything is energy. And that is how it works. Even my words right now, they're not, you're giving everything that I'm saying meaning. And either I'm disrupting your program, I'm irritating you, which would be very weird if you're still here and you're angry. That is something that you need to check on. Okay. But, anyways, moving on. So, breaking the cycle, shift the belief, shift the experience. Shift the belief, shift the experience. I was living in my aunt's home, and I was in a little bedroom about the size of a, I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe like 12 feet by like 15 feet or something like that. And now essentially I'm in my dream home right now. This isn't the end. This was just a dream. This is a destination. And now I'm going to be building out my like dream home. So because everything is ever expansive and everything is always evolving. You can stop whenever you want, but you are an infinite creator and you are here to create. And so what I'm going to do is create, not only create the life for myself, but create the life for myself so that I can create the life for others, because that's what it's all about. The more my cup is full, the more I pour into every single being around me, because that's what makes me feel good, man. It does. I really love giving from a place of true giving, not for validation, not because I think I have to, not because I'm going to get something, but because, dude, when you embody that, then those are the neurotransmitters that are going back and forth. I no longer get my dopamine from scrolling or watching pornography or those kinds of things. I get my dopamine from epiphanies and learning and from educating and from giving. Okay? Step one, identify what feels hard in your life. Money, love, health, success. These are all universal things that are pain points for the human condition. We all feel these things at a very, very deep level. And you can even feel it in someone else. Like if you see someone who's like struggling and poor, and like you want, your soul wants to reach out and help. I don't care how evil you think you may be. So ask yourself, what belief am I holding that makes this difficult? Write that down. What belief am I holding that makes this difficult? And I wish I could give you the answer to that, but that would never serve you. You're the one who has to find these things, because the I am starts with who you want to be. And you're going to believe it into form when you finally embody the truth, which is what you believe. Step 2, rewrite the belief. So instead of making money is hard, shift to money flows to me through alignment. When you align with value, offering, right? When you offer value, money follows. You don't have to try. It just does, because it's energy and it's operating on the same frequency to alignment. That's why they talk about raising your vibrational frequency, because what you're doing is you're aligning to the frequency of that thing, and money follows value. If you go into something because you want money, you are automatically starting out with the I am and the belief that you don't already have it. And then you're just going to burn out, because all you're going to get back is the loop of believing that I got to make money. I got to make so much money. I got to make money. I got to make money. True abundance, dude, that's not even money, dude. Half of my life is money and half of my life is freaking free, because that's abundance, dude. People are like, I want to own a real jet, like my own private jet. And then all of a sudden an opportunity will come to them where they're able to like take a ride on a free jet. And they will not recognize that that is the manifestation right there, because the moment's all you are. It doesn't have, that's abundance, dude. Don't you get it? Abundance is every fucking where, dude. Oh, all right. So where am I? Sometimes I crack myself up, man. Instead of making money is hard, shift the money belief. Okay. I talk about money from my experience. Dude, I lived in scarcity forever. I was stealing until I was, I think, 31 years old. Okay? That's embarrassing, but it's true, because I didn't know any better, dude. It was a pattern, and that pattern kept me in guilt. Every single time I did it, I was like, dude, why are you doing this, man? And then when I started to become aware, I was like, no, you are not in scarcity anymore. You pay for that shit, and you pay full price. And then I started to do that, and it was unknown and it was scary. And that is the unknown and scary. People think that the unknown and scary is this like big, vast thing, like you fucking jump off of a cliff or something. You're not going to die, but you're going to feel uncomfortable. But if you truly want to change, you have to rewire your belief system, or you will not change. And look, if your beliefs are serving you right now in the reality that you have, if you are literally living your dream, then there'd be no reason to change what you believe. That's why I said earlier that you can stop whenever you want. Most people, if they saw my home, would think it's a dream, because it is a dream. It was my dream, and that's why it was made manifest. But then I was like, moving on. I'm infinitely abundant, and so are you. So what's next? I was like, no, dude, I actually want this entry, and I want marble here, and I want that, and this. And, I went into the Madison, what do you call that? The Capitol building, and just the marble in there. I was like, dude, I need to do exactly what they did. I need someone to get me the best marble from around the world, and I want to build with that, because I just am really drawn to marble. I love it. So that's my belief, and I'm sticking to it. I fucking love that saying, dude. That's funny. That is hilarious. I should make a shirt. That's my belief, and I'm sticking to it. All right. Instead of, or if anyone else wants to make a shirt off of that, I'm telling you, dude, they would sell. Put that shit on Amazon. You're welcome. Instead of, or I'm sorry, I totally lost where I was. I appreciate your patience. So instead of making money is hard, shift to money flows to me through alignment. Instead of I have to suffer to grow, shift to I grow effortlessly through clarity and expansion. Step 3, watch how reality adjusts. You need to make sure, and that's what mindfulness is really actually about. And one of the best things that you can do is 3 times in the morning write down the I am to truly solidify who you are in the present tense. Not I'm going to be, not one day, I am. Okay? And then do 6 minutes of that again, like in the evening, and then at night do it 9 times. And each one of those times, do 6 minutes of some type, like 6 minutes of stretching, 6 minutes of breath work, or six, or like 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes. Or you can just do the 6 minute one too. Do them all in 6 minutes. And that's a whole separate video that if you want to hear more about, you can let me know in the comments, and I'd love to let you know more about it. But for now, just do that. The universe doesn't test you, it reflects you. Okay? The test, again, that's just a construct so that you know what's happening, so that when you do figure out that it's just a loop, you can see it for what it is. But you're not being tested. You're creating it until you don't create it anymore. That I promise you. Okay? Because I've experienced it. I've experienced scarcity and lying and cheating and doing the things that I was doing until I understood the loop, dude. It's not because I was a bad person. It's because I was operating like anyone at that level of conscious awareness. That's it. I've overcome those things. I feel liberated because I am. That's what liberation is. Speaking your truth, saying, this is who I was, this is who I am, and then you embody that, and the rest is history, dude. I look back at who I used to be, some of those old characters, and this is why you must die multiple times to live fully, is because I had to kill those characters. I had to dismantle every single belief that was tied to those versions of who I used to be until the I am became my reality. And that is why you must watch how reality adjusts. The second you shift, reality starts to reorganize to match it. God literally says, ask and you shall receive. Not ask and it's going to come in 50 years, or that. No, ask and you shall receive. Your one job is to remain on Faith Street. That's it. Because if you get off onto Doubt Street, or you get off to I'm a fuck around and find out Street, you miss the package. You understand? And God goes, send her again. The second you shift, reality starts reorganizing itself to match. Once you ask, God says, okay, and he starts moving the board of your reality to match your new belief. But that's what faith is. Believe, 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 and you will perceive. Beliefs are not just thoughts. They are programming that dictates how life unfolds. Yes, you, me, everything, we are programmed. We're formatted between 0 and 7, which is our formative years, where we're in theta state, and we essentially assume the belief of what it is our environment is telling us we are, and we hold on to those things until we don't. But your suffering is meant to be alchemized. It is meant to be transmuted energy into creation. The most powerful creations come from the energy of suffering, because that suffering breaks the cycle. Because to get there, you yourself had to face yourself. I have faced me. There's the only difference between where I'm at and where you may be at. Not that I'm better, not that I know more. You also have truth. That is why they say the truth will set you free. Once you walk in truth, you access truth. So these are some things that I believe are universal beliefs that I want to help anyone who's watching this break right now. So I want you to repeat these after me, and we're going to do this together, okay? So 1, I have to work hard to deserve success is the story, okay? Find that story if that's yours. And if it's not, just continue to wait. One of these might be. Truth. Here's your truth that you need to hear. Success comes from alignment, not exhaustion. Success comes from alignment, not exhaustion. You will feel it effortlessly. And you will just start to be like, whoa, oh, well, you're like, I didn't even do anything. God's like, yeah, ask and you shall receive, buddy. So that's number 1. Number 2, good things take a long time. Truth. This is the truth you need to hear right now. Change can happen instantly when you fully align. Change can happen instantly when you fully align. That is the new belief you walk away with from this video. And if you want to manifest it even further, write it in the comments. No, not because it helps the algorithm. Yeah, kind of, because it does. But also because I know that that does help you reaffirm too. That's why. And if we're helping each other, then that's what it's all about. So, where was that? Sorry. 3, if I take a risk, I might fail. If I take a risk, I might fail is the story. That is the story. Please remember that you need to remind yourself as the awareness that that is just the story. Okay. We're going to do this one a little bit differently, number 3 here. And I want you to practice something. Now, we're not going to say this out loud. I'm going to say it out loud, and I want you to try and remember so that you can say this only in your head here. I want to show something to you. So the truth of this story, the story right now is if I take a risk, I might fail. That's the story. I keep saying that because the story is not the truth. The story can be rewritten because you're the director, you're the script writer, you're the hero, man. So if I take a risk, I might fail. Damn, that might be my belief. Like as I, as I said, it's like, hey, yo, you can do it in real time with them, homie. Because I was like, all right, like you said that kind of a lot now. So moving on here. We're just saying this is just in our mind. If you don't take the risk, you've already failed. Truth. If you don't take the risk, you've already failed. The story, not the truth. If I take a risk, I might fail. The truth, what you can now embody as the I am, is that if you don't take the risk, you've already failed. I want you to imagine right now, you're writing in a character because you're creating a movie. And first you had, if I take the risk, I might fail. And that's what he's like saying to the woman, right? Or whatever. And now I want you to erase that. Oh, it's blank. Now you got to write something new in. And you're going to write in truth. If you don't take the risk, you've already failed. And now you're like, man, that just sounds so much more poetic. It's beautiful. That's it. That's the line. We've done it, you know? And so now you've just rewritten the story. And so now I want you to just imagine like how that kind of played out, you know, knowing that, yeah, dude, you have nothing to lose. So failure stems from never taking the risk. Not from taking the risk, dude. The risk is what leads you to it. That's the truth. Okay? So now that we kind of rewired that, we're going to say that without anything. We're not going to use any words, okay? And we're going to say, if you don't take the risk, you've already failed. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow, did you hear that? You are that. You're not this. You're the awareness that you just heard in your mind that just told you what the truth is. And now the next time that your DMN wants to throw up a story, try to catch it in real time. You go within and you listen to what that's saying, not to argue with the thoughts, not to dissipate the thoughts, to look at them and rewrite them. And you need to feel it, dude. I genuinely saw in my mind sitting down at a desk, like rewriting that story. Because in real time, I realized that was a story that I was feeling in this moment. And it's true because, dude, I'm afraid to make and post these videos sometimes because vulnerability is freaking scary, dude. But I'm not a failure. And so I'm gonna post the shit out of them, dude. And so number 4, which again, yeah, I probably wrote these down now, like subconsciously, because these are my beliefs. And so I hope that I'm inadvertently allowing you to heal these too, because I just read this one and I was like, damn, that's right. I remember yeah, okay, so I need to be realistic. Like people say that. People have said it to me, dude. My dreams are big, big. Big, big. You know what I mean? Like I tell people, like, okay. But not anymore. Now the people in my life, I tell them these things and they literally say it. Yeah, like, I know, dude. Like I can't believe it's not here yet, basically. And the number one person that does that for me is my woman, dude. The same way I connected with her was this, it just was annoying, you know? It just that's how quick it is. If you read the book, it's called this Think and Grow Rich. I'm gonna give you the secret to that book. The secret to that book is that it's a knowing that you will know, and you will know within less than 60 seconds. It's instant. That's where truth comes from. People call it intuition. It's God, dude. It's the field giving you the truth. And if your mental noise is too loud, you're going to miss it. You're not going to trust it. And then maybe that's you taking a risk and then like it doesn't work out. And if you feed that and if you truly believe in it and don't trust and have faith, then that's just going to be the pattern you fall back into. Failure is only failure when you stop taking the risk. When you give up. So I need to be realistic. You are, dude. You're as realistic as you ever could be. You're a human living breathing entity that gets to experience life. That's pretty realistic, dude. Someone's like writing a drawing, they're like, does that look realistic? You're like, yeah, so realistic, dude. But then like you are realistic. You get me? The story is I need to be realistic. That's not the truth. That's the story. Your imagination is your superpower, dude. You look what Disney created. I mean, a freaking magical kingdom. Was it taken and marginalized and was it used to manipulate? Yes, of course, dude, because that's what happens with beautiful creations and power. But that's not the new world. That's not the new earth. And you just got to disengage from that. So the story, I need to be realistic. The truth, realistic is just another word for limited belief. You feel me? The truth, realistic, is just another word for limited belief. It's not real. You are not limited. You are limited by your own imagination. Once you see it in your mind, it collapses into form immediately. That's why you see it in your mind. It's the first form of manifestation, thought. Thoughts become things because that's how it works. You have to think it, it collapses here, and all of a sudden you're like, ooh, you guys are like, ooh, we're so excited. Ooh, two particles entangled. because they've met in the mind, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, over here, psh, boom, baby, car, jet, money, whatever the manifestation is, you've met the frequency of that thing. And that's the truth. So, truth, realistic is just another word for limited belief. And you're limitless, man. Just close your eyes and imagine your limitlessness. Look what people have created, dude, because they believed in their unlimited power. Read the book by Brian Gottlieb called Beyond the Hammer. I mean, you want to talk about someone who's limitless, dude? That dude's limitless. But we all are. He's not smarter or greater or a better businessman. He just believes unwaveringly in his ability to create. That's his superpower, and that's your superpower, and that's anybody's superpower. Okay? So, last thing I want to say is let go of limiting beliefs, and reality will expand to meet your new truth. It just does. So the last thing I want to say to you is that if everything in your life is responding to what you believe, what belief are you going to start with today? Maybe it's one of these four. I'll tell you what, dude, I found my belief. This whole thing is my inner knowing. This whole video is my truth because it just is. It's why I'm here creating it. No one's telling me to do this. I'm not making money. I'm just doing it because I'm called to do it. Because like you're the light, you're the way. And if you're here, it's because you're ready to hear it. So I want to thank you for being here with me in my presence. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And more than importantly, I want to thank you, for choosing to believe in your limitless. Because, motherfucker, I want you to create for me. I want to experience what you got in your head. Because creation's awesome, man. Like, I love go-karts, dude. And I wish I could meet the person who invented that. I'd be like, man, thank you. That's what it's about. It's like, that's truly what it's about. So, thank you so much for being here. As always, I appreciate you. I love you. And my gratitude. Thank you.